When you're talking about that industry, you're not talking about when a project occurs just one company or one entity being involved. There's projects that involve multiple companies, employees that are provided by workforce agencies, and so you have multiple parties, entities, businesses, groups that are involved in projects. And so probably the thing that's probably at the forefront of the mind of the business person getting into the project is how they're going to arrange or deal with their contractual relationship and obligations, but maybe there's not enough focus on the detail of those agreements. And so not looking into the impact of what certain contractual provisions can have on a company, or not making sure that certain contractual provisions are addressed properly or in an agreement. Certainly the one we see probably most often are defense and indemnity obligations between companies, where an entity entering into an agreement doesn't fully realize that if a certain casualty occurs, what type of liability or obligations they're taking on because of the contractual agreement they've entered into with another company. And so it's probably not fully realizing the scope and the issues that come about because of losses or accidents that can be assumed by a company that they didn't realize through contractual agreements. And then whether the proper coverage is in place to deal with that responsibility. From my perspective, the first step is obviously the person in the business industry who's in that field, understanding what they're getting into and looking at the provisions, and then certainly talking with either it's an in-house risk manager or an outside risk manager, a broker, to discuss what are the ramifications of these provisions. I know that these individuals don't want to get into giving any kind of legal opinion, but at least there is a discussion of what is at stake and what can be done to protect the company based on what provisions are or are not in a contract. So it takes more than just getting an agreement, signing it. I think it takes reading it, understanding it, and discussing it with others to make sure that you understand what you're getting into, and based on that understanding, making decisions about what risk you're willing to assume or not assume, what coverage you want to get in place or not have in place.